Hey friends, we are continuing to learn about addition, and today we're going to be doing addition with 10 frames. Now we're going to start with smaller numbers just so we can get used to this strategy, but we are going to be able to use 10 frames to help us represent or show addition and help us to solve the addition problems. So here's our first example. Off to the right here, we have two 10 frames that they've given us, and they've given some gummy bears to show the math problem. So this says Tim has 4 gummy bears. His brother gave him 1 gummy bear. How many gummy bears does Tim have now? Now this part up here is what's called a word problem. It's using words to kind of explain a story or a scenario that explains the addition problem. And then here we see some numbers and our symbols that we talked about yesterday. We have 4 plus 1 equals 5. Now this addition sentence goes along with our word problem, and we also see it here in our 10 frame. We see that they put 4 red gummy bears and added 1 more gummy bear to equal 5. Now the way that this 10 frame can help us is that I know there are 10 boxes in a 10 frame right here. And now that all the gummy bears have been placed, I notice it fills up one whole row or half of this 10 frame. And I know that half of 10 would be 5. So I don't even have to count the gummy bears. I can visually subbatize and see that the half a row or half a 10 frame are filled up. Or I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or if I know I have 4 red gummy bears plus 1 more would be 5. Let's go on to the next one. This time Tim has 4 gummy bears. His brother gave him 2 gummy bears. How many does he have now? And we can see off to the right in our 10 frame, they have the 4 red gummy bears plus 2 more gives us 6. And another useful tip and way we can use our 10 frame to help us add is it organizes all of these little pieces to help us be able to see. Because sometimes if they're just in a group or huddled up, it's hard to be able to count and see how many there are. And because they're spaced out so nicely right here, we can really tell how many gummy bears we actually have. I can clearly see that we have 4 red and 2 green, which gives us 6. Here's our next one. This one has 4 gummy bears, but he didn't get any gummy bears from his brother. So that's going to be 4 plus 0 equals 4. And here we just have the 4 gummy bears that Tim started with and no extras. So we know that 4 plus nothing else gives us 4. Here it shows the 3 addition sentences that we just looked at in the 10 frames. And it shows that we started with 4 every time, but this is the number that changed. We changed how many we were adding or joining to our collection of gummy bears. And then this is how many that we ended up with. So when we started with 4 and we didn't get any more, we ended up with the number 4. Now, normally when you add, your numbers get bigger. But in this case, when you're adding with the 0, it doesn't change the number. It stays the exact same. Here we have 4 plus 1. That means it's one number bigger than 4, which is 5. And here we need a number that's 2 more than 4, which gives us 6. Let's do a couple more. I'm going to skip down a little bit. Let's do this one. So this one says, Ava has 10 gummy bears and Tim has 2 gummy bears. How many gummy bears do they have in all? I like this little phrase right here. That's another way that we can tell that we're going to be doing an addition problem, because in all means all together. So let's see how they represented this. They took 10 red gummy bears, and look, it fills up an entire 10 frame. So a whole 10 frame is filled. We know that's 10. That was their gummy bears that Ava had. And then we have 2 green here. That's how many gummy bears that Tim had. So we know we need to add the 10 here plus 2 more. So I know this is 10. I don't have to count it because I know it's filled up. So I'm going to go 10, 11, 12. So that means that 10 gummy bears plus 2 more gives us 12 in all. Let's do one more. Let's do this one. Ava has 9 red gummy bears and 0 green gummy bears. How many gummy bears does Ava have? So here we see our 110 frame where we're going to use. We see 9 gummy bears all filled up, and we have 1 empty spot. So we know that this is 9 plus 0 more keeps it at 9. So this time our number didn't get bigger. But this 10 frame helped us to see that the numbers are it helps us to see the numbers more clearly and organized, and that we can tell that when there's 10 boxes and one's empty, then we know that it's 9.